Okay, quick, easy recipe video today. Boneless chicken bites. You will need 2 boneless, skinless chicken breasts. I'm going to slice them, butterfly them in half, and I'm going to chop them up into little bite-size strips, then chop them up into bites. I'll kind of keep you updated on it. You'll also need a stick of butter, some red hot sauce, whatever kind you want. I prefer the cayenne pepper sauce that we have here, and a pan, which we're getting right here, and also oil. Vegetable oil, excuse me. And I'm gonna get started here and I'll get moving. Let's move, yeah! Now that the breasts are split in half, I'm going to slice them into little like chicken strips, and then I'm going to slice them again into little bite-sized pieces. And then we're going to be throwing it into burning hot oil for about, I don't know, you say about 8 minutes on each side? I think about 8 minutes on each side. You will be able to tell. But I'm going to show you that as the video is going here. See you in a second. Now that we're all diced up, we will add a little bit of flour. And what we're going to do is, basically we're just going to put them in a bag and throw a little bit of flour and get them nice and coated in flour. It just helps it get a little bit crispier in the pan. And, you know, you want it to have a nice little kind of a crisp to it, but not too dry or anything else. So we're going to show you that in just a second. I just threw a little piece in. My oil is about ready, so I'm just going to turn the heat down just a little bit. And I'm going to start adding the chicken. Or we are going to start adding the chicken, and we're going to just toss them around. I'd say just about maybe 5 minutes in here. 5 to 6 minutes. And then we have another little trick up our sleeve. Into the frying pan we go. Now, see, that's perfect. Nice, perfect temperature. Okay. Also, in the meantime, while you're frying, preheat your oven to 375 because there's a little bit of baking involved here. So we're going to go in with our bites.
Very carefully.
Carefully. But no, don't be afraid. Throw them right in. I mean, don't like splash them in, but make sure they're broken up too. Like, let them be individual because they'll stay together if you don't. All right, we're going to catch you back in a second. So, basically, you just want to get them till they're just about like fully cooked, but not quite. But they just got that nice little kind of a crispness to them. And what you're going to do is take them out and throw them onto like a paper towel, you know, with a plate under it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pat these dry. And then I'm going to move on to the next step that I'm going to show you. It's a little trick. Guys, now, here's the trick. After removing your chicken from your hot oil, which you had in there for about 5 to 6 minutes, just about almost all the way cooked. What you're going to do is you're going to get a plastic bag. I've already done this step because I'm using one hand to do the camera. You're going to get another plastic bag after you pat dry the chicken. You're going to get a tablespoon of baking powder. This is the trick. And what you're going to do is just toss those bites after you dried the oil off them in that bag. And then you're going to place them back onto a baking rack. Now, I want to let you know something. Please, if you have it, use a roasting rack. I'm not in my normal kitchen right now. I don't have one, so I have to do it straight on the pan. It's still going to be good, but it's much better on a roasting rack because it lets all that air breathe and everything else. So, now is your time to have a little fun. If you like seasonings, go at it. I'm going to put a little salt just all over it. I'm going to put a little pepper. I'm going to put a little garlic powder. That's about it. And then I'm going to just drizzle a little olive oil all over them, and I'm going to throw them into the oven at 375 for 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, while your chicken's in baking, we're going to get started on the sauce. So what we're going to do is turn our little burner on with a little pot here on just a little higher than low. Just a little higher than low. And what we're going to do is use pretty much a whole bottle. You don't have to use the entire bottle. It depends on how much you're making, but I would go with just about a whole bottle into the pot. Yeah, actually, there's a little, you know what, you don't have to use the whole one for 2 breasts, but if you're going with 3 or 4, definitely you have to use it. Now, also, the trick is, I'm going to put a stick of butter in here. And what we're going to do is, since I'm not making as much, I'm just going to cut a little bit off of it, but you could use a whole stick. It all depends on how hot you want your wings. Your butter is your how to make the sauce mild, excuse me. And so the more butter you use, the more mild the sauce, the less butter, the more hot it's going to be. Very important fact is when you put the butter in, you do not want to put it into hot sauce. You want it to make sure that it's like very low. The butter has to melt slowly in order to go into the sauce properly. And also the one final trick for the sauce is 1 teaspoon of white vinegar. And that just goes right in, and that's it. And as the butter melts, you could slowly just give it stirs while your food is cooking, and it'll all just come together very nicely. It's a very good sauce, very simple. Excellent idea too, if you want to. You could put a couple teaspoons of brown sugar, and that actually really makes the sauce nice. It's very tasty and not as hot. It makes it more of a very mild sauce, but it's delicious regardless. Chicken's cooking. Once you hit your 15-minute mark, we still got 10. Take a look at them. Sometimes you might want to do 20 minutes. It all depends. This oven's a little bit, everyone's oven kind of varies, but 20 minutes will definitely be more than enough. But 15, I always give the 15 to 20 because you're already pretty much cooked in your oil. So we'll just take a look at it once it beeps after this 10 minutes, and we'll see how it is. And then if not, we'll just keep it in a little bit longer. Smell and look so good. They actually look like little croutons in the camera. But now it was 15 minutes. I just took them out. Now because I didn't have them on a roasting rack, I gave them all a flip, and I'm just gonna put them in for another 4 minutes. That's it. If you guys did use a roasting rack, just keep them in for another, I'd say maybe 18 more minutes instead of 15, and you don't have to flip them at all then. 19 minutes on the roasting rack. They're out, and they are so crispy from that baking powder that we use that is the trick to getting a good crisp in the oven. Now what we're going to do is prepare a small bowl, and we got your sauce that have it nice and mixed. You got to keep it mixed because it's almost like a suspension liquid. You know, things separate and the flavor separates. We're going to start by putting just a little bit of the sauce into the bottom of the bowl. And I am not like one of those chefs that could just toss it in the bowl. I will get it all over the entire kitchen. And now, I'm not going to pour the whole thing in just yet because I want to make sure I eyeball how much we got here. Alright, and then we're going to go in with the chicken into the bowl and just mix it up. Just going to mix all the contents together here, get them all nice and evenly coated. And you're going to be adding just more sauce as you go. You're going to eyeball it yourself and see if we're definitely going to need a little bit more. That's why I always say use about a bottle, but not the whole bottle, because you never, unless you're going with like 3 or 4 chicken breasts, you're going to feed like a bunch of people, then yeah, I would go with the whole bottle. But if you're just doing 2 chicken breasts for, you know, maybe 2 or 3 people, a little appetizer, go with what I said before. Not quite the whole bottle, maybe 3/4 of it. Have it, guys. Easy, delicious, crispy, boneless wing bites. Can't go wrong. We're gonna dig in here. My mouth is just watering right now. Thanks guys so much for watching. Please drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more content. I love making these videos, and I hope you love them too. See you soon.